do want to talk about both of the Peace and the Twilight
Okay,
domain.
wait.
Different. Yeah.
We've got this like divine intervention constipation that I feel like we need to shit
Okay,
out.
all right, divine intervention first. Divine intervention is the greatest ability of all time. There's my answer.
fucking
Okay.
love divine intervention.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's such a cool. Apparently, I don't remember. I think in one of the videos with actually on Todd Kenrick. I don't remember if he was talking to Chris Perkins or Jeremy Crawford, but they were talking about in older editions how divine intervention used to work, and then compared to what it was now. Because I think in 4th edition it was like a feat or an ability or some shit. I could be wrong.
Well, my thing. Okay.
Okay.
I have a you know, divine intervention I think is super sick because it is an ability that, to me, and this is the same reason I really love the capstone abilities for paladins, is divine intervention is, this is my class's thing and I'm gonna double down so hard, right? Because, you know, you could say you're a cleric and all this shit, but are you really a cleric if you've never summoned your fucking god, right? Like, divine intervention is so commit to the bit, you know? And the fact that at level 20, you don't have to roll, you can just call up God and be like, hey, yo, smite this man right now, is my fucking... Because we've talked about the capstone abilities. A lot of them are shit, but the cleric capstone ability is fucking sick because you just get divine intervention, no questions asked.
No questions asked.
Look, you do,
Lord, I
which is
need
great.
assistance, please.
So, like,
Yes.
that's awesome. I love that you get it at level 20 for freebies, and there's basically nothing anyone can do about it. That's sick. My problem with divine intervention is at level 10,
It comes
you
up
only
not
have a
that
10% chance to do it,
Yes.
and because you're rolling a D100, it feels a lot lower.
I think that's kind of
So-
the point.
Well, okay, sure, but it feels like an ability that they're just sort of cock teasing you with. Like, oh, look at this thing that you could do,
Right.
not that you will do, or you actually have a chance to do if probability wants to fuck you. You could do it though, isn't that cool? And the answer is no, that's bullshit. I fucking hate that.
So here's the thing, Isaiah. What you're running into, what you're feeling, this tension deep in your loins that is torsioning your testicles right now. The problem is you're running into mechanical gameplay balance and design and funitude, that's not a word, versus thematic design, right? Because the problem is, thematically, it makes a lot of sense that you're only level, granted level 10 is still pretty strong, which is why you have the option even at all, but you're only level 10, you're only halfway to your potential journey. Your god is not that likely to, like, they'll notice you because you're level 10, you've been calling on their abilities quite a lot, but it's not like you're their favorite child quite yet, you know? So from a thematic standpoint, it makes a lot of sense that as your levels go up, your chance to get the attention of your god goes up.
Which, look, I get it.
From a game, hold on, not done yet. From a gameplay standpoint, you are correct that it kind of fucking sucks nuts that there is, if you are unlucky, there's a chance it will just never, ever, ever, ever happen. Because it is such a thematically cool ability and reinforces the theme of the cleric so well, it does suck if you never get a chance to use it. So, I think, and I've mentioned this before, very simple fix, and I will just put this energy out there in the world and hope that DMs accept this or use this.
I think we're about to say the same thing.
Let the first use of divine intervention just happen.
Fucking preach. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just let it happen.
Thank you. Oh my fucking god.
Don't roll.
Thank you.
Let the first one just happen.
Yeah.
It's not like,
Let the other
God
ones
damn.
be rolls, but let the first one just happen.
yeah, right, because it's like you've made it, there are, how many clerics are actually capable of level 10 strength, right?
Right.
Not many.
Very few in lore.
So if anyone was gonna slide you a divine like Chris Pie 5, it would be the level 10 fucking cleric. So, and look, I understand that it's like, people are like, it's basically a wish spell. Correct. And I understand that that's why you have to roll for it. But at least give them the fucking first one for free, for God's sake.
Give them,
Is
like
it
a good
basically-
drug dealer, give them a taste first, then they'll come back for
Here's
more.
my thing. I would argue it's not even basically a wish spell. right? Because so the wording of it is imploring your deity's aid requires you to use an action. Describe the assistance you seek and roll the percentile dice. If you roll a number equal or lower, blah, 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 your deity intervenes. The DM chooses the nature of the intervention. It's not really a wish spell. You're saying
yeah. So
It can be, though.
The reason
Like,
why I say it's like a wish
could-
spell is because it says the effect of any cleric spell or cleric domain spell.
would be
So the idea is that
appropriate.
you can use spell to replicate any other spell. Sorry, you can use wish to replicate any
Yes.
spell in the game.
True. The thing is, at the end of the day, you're essentially summoning. The thing about the wish spell is you know, using your own power. Divine intervention is essentially calling an NPC for help. At the end of the day, if you're calling an NPC for help, you're calling an NPC. The GM controls the NPC. You know, like they can adjudicate the situation, right? Like, obviously, don't be. This is not me saying be a dick and just like have the god come down and do basically nothing. But you can control what the god's response to the situation is. You know, if you don't want it to be like, if the player asks for something stupid, you could just justify it and be like, well, your god's doesn't trust you that much, but they'll help, you know, and then so you don't get exactly what you want.
This is not a call out, but this is kind of a funny thing that happened to me once.
Oh.
I did a level
no.
21 shot and I got a magic item. I got like a holy symbol that would give me one, as someone who wasn't a cleric, I got a holy symbol that would give me one divine intervention. If I got like, because he was like, oh, you can take like X amount of magic items, right? Like most one shots do that. And the GM came to me and was like, so if you don't take those magic items, I'll give you this thing. And I was really excited. I was like, oh shit, that's super cool. I can't wait. This is gonna be great. And then it came down to it, final fighting the final boss. I used the thing, and then he goes, this character is under the effects of the hex spell at 9th level. I'm like, that doesn't do anything. He's like, he didn't mean to say like correct, but he was like, I was like, all that does is increase that hex time for a week. And he was like, yep. I was like, so I didn't take magic items for hex.
What a dick.
He like, after I talked about it, I was like, that was kind of a shitty thing. And he was like, yeah, I realized that now. I feel kind of bad about it. I was like, it's all right, because I was never really in any danger in that one shot. Like I did a pretty good job keeping myself in a strategic location, even as a frontline fighter. But there was a time I was a little miffed, to say the least, when he was like, you get hex. All right.
Yeah.
You what, mate? I think he thought that hex could be upcast like most spells, where it just does more damage.
It does.
Because 9th level hex, that's a 9d8 additional damage. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I don't think he read the minutia of
Probably
the
not.
spell, and I think it's with that thing where he's like, well, I've said it. Moving on.
I mean, yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
But
It's all
anyway,
right. Like I said, not mad, but it was, I'm laughing about it now. It was very, very funny.
I do understand I understand your frustration, Isaiah, with the potential of it never being used. And so, yeah, I think give the first one for free. And then obviously once they hit level 20, they get it for free. Let them use it a whole bunch in between. And, you know, also not for nothing, if you're a player, if you know, if you try to use it once a session, eventually you're going to get it.
Yeah, because like
True.
it has a once a long rest if it doesn't work. So
it
literally
doesn't
you can
work,
just
yeah.
keep trying it every day until it works.
Yes.
I honestly, what I think it is, what would make me happier is if you could add your wisdom mod to your level. Right? So at level 10, let's say at level 10 you have 20 wisdom, it's not 10%, it's 15%.
It's 15. Yeah, I could see that.
At level 15 it's 20%.
Okay.
So like it doesn't seem like a lot, but that 5% does matter.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it makes sense to be like, oh yeah, my wisdom, which is my stat that everything's based on, increases my like holiness.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, can I tell a quick story from the Storm
No.
King's Thunder game?
No,
Yeah,
you
go for
can't,
it.
Matt.
Alright.
Fuck you.
You're the host.
All right, well, I'm gonna do it anyways because I'm hosting today. I'm in the big boys chair, baby, rocking around. I don't know what the
Rocking
God, I even tangents myself.
speed of set.
So
Cut that out right now.
So slight spoilers for Storm King's Thunder, an adventure that is a wee bit old. We are in a massive giant temple, basically dedicated to every giant god. Unfortunately, the big bad evil of the campaign, who happens to be a very powerful magical blue dragon lady, showed up.
Ladies.
And she basically cornered us and we could not escape. one of the things the DM kept telling us throughout the game, and this kept happening to me because being the wizard and being an asshole with Dimension Door and Misty Step,
I love
temple
and being an
specifically-
asshole.
yeah, basically.
Hold on. Can we just
the-
take a moment to appreciate that Misty Step is the asshole move in every game?
Hi, Sam.
Yeah.
Sam from the Warp.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
We
he
just hear
kept,
Garugamesh in the distance.
So in the temple itself, the giants prevent people from teleporting in and out of the temple, so you can't teleport. And every time I would try and cast a teleport spell, because I was, the wizard, and I was just, let me test something for science. I mean, magic. I would try to cast any of my teleport spells, and nothing would happen. And I'm like, fuck. So later on, Big Blue Dragon comes, attacks, fucking our shit up. She has an army of gargoyles attacking us, and we literally cannot escape. And so the cleric, Grigor, he asked, he's like, can I try a divine intervention to try and get us to teleport out? And the DM was hesitant at first because he's like, well, normally because this is a temple of a god, it's specifically, they even put it in the adventure, you cannot teleport into or out of the temple. But
gods
he's
don't
like,
follow rules.
Yeah,
True.
that's the thing. Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna let you try it. He's like, if you get the roll, if you get the roll, I'll let you guys teleport out. And I think he rolled like a 6 or some shit. And so we make the joke, because he's rolled divine intervention like 3 or 4 times. And that was, I think, one of his first ones that he ever rolled. And it saved our asses. And we joke that he is Saloon's champion. He's the favorite of Saloon, because we're all like, yes, the moon lady up in the sky is the best god.
The moon is good.
Yeah. So that was so clutch,
Yeah,
because
I
we
mean-
literally had no way of getting out of that temple without losing probably half the party.
Yeah, I
to
mean,
be honest.
critical role, right? Pike using divine intervention to punch a dragon out of the sky was,
Yo,
pretty lit.
that is to
Yeah.
this day the most clutch divine intervention. Just
Yeah.
the fist of God.
Literally.
I
So
only
fucking
think there's a
good.
video I watched. I told you guys about it, but it's about like a manga, and the character is supposed to like rip a tree out of the ground, and he's like, figure this out, you can sucker punch God. And it's like got the energy.